as a recap, millions of people have disappeared, the world is in chaos, and one man comes into power, uniting the entire world, trying to get it back in order. Now, the first 3.5 years that this man is in power, this is what's going to happen. A powerful religious leader will appear and convince people to worship this new world leader, the Antichrist. He will unite different religions under a false belief system, and this religious leader will perform impressive miracles to make people believe in the Antichrist's power and authority. But these miracles will be deceptive. And during this time, the Antichrist will introduce a new economic system to manage the world's economy. Later, he will require people to accept a special mark called the Mark of the Beast, to buy or sell anything. Now, he's clearly not going to call this the Mark of the Beast or say 666 or something like that, because then some people who haven't been fully deceived by him or this false religious leader or false prophet will realize, hey, this sounds like what the Christians were talking about in the Bible, the Mark of the Beast, and we shouldn't do this. Now, yes, there will be some people who will come into that understanding, like this is what's going on, but the majority of the world is going to be deceived and believe, oh, we're all united as one nation, we're all united as one religion, we might as well have one currency and one way to pay for everything. And so they're going to willingly accept this Mark of the Beast. Then there's going to be a series of disasters that will strike the world, including violence and global wars will break out, food shortages and economic collapse, prices will soar, and many will go hungry. There's going to be widespread death, war, disease, and famine will kill huge numbers of people. And additionally, there will be earthquakes and other natural disasters that will become more and more frequent and intense. And I know you're probably saying, well, stuff like that is going on right now, or it's been going on for years, especially lately since the 2020 pandemic. A lot of this stuff has been happening more frequently, yes. But what happened these last 5 years, we'll multiply that by 100 and condense that into 3.5 years. And yes, I know some people would say, well, it's going to be really hard for him to convince very religious, devout people to give up their religion to follow this one leader. But again, it's all about deception. There's going to be miracles around this man. There's going to be, this false prophet is going to promote this man to be like some god and this wonderful supernatural person that people will be willing to abandon Buddha. They will be willing to abandon Allah. They will be willing to abandon all kinds of beliefs to follow this man. And some of these people will believe that he is the representation of who they believe in. That maybe, he's Muhammad, or that maybe he is the Messiah himself, or whoever else that they believe within their own religious sect. Now, there will be people who become Christians during this time, probably because they recognize what is going on, and they finally believe in God and has accepted Jesus as their Savior. And these people who choose to follow God instead of the Antichrist will be arrested and tortured and killed. Society will become more hostile towards anyone who opposes this new system. It's going to be worse than in the days of the Bible after Jesus' resurrection and the Christians who were spreading the gospel and were persecuted during that time. This is going to be worldwide. Christians are going to be hated and despised like never before, and because they won't give in to the Antichrist demands and what he's trying to do, because they know the truth. And this world will be behind him and will be willing to kill, torture, and persecute those who are Christians. And also during this time, many Jewish people will realize that Jesus is the true Messiah, and they will turn to him and accept him as their Messiah. So I didn't want to get too deep into the religious part of it, I guess the biblical understanding of it, because I want to make this as plain as possible for someone who doesn't believe in these events, someone who doesn't believe in the Bible or in Christianity, just so they can see, okay, this is what's going on in the world, and they can compare it to this video and see, okay, this is happening. This video said this was going to happen, and they can kind of marry the two together and then see it from that perspective. But stay tuned for the next part, because the Antichrist has a lot more in store.